welcome to another episode of West Coast Street Knowledge. I'm your host, Gail, aka the American Cholo. I got my co-host Sonny in the house.
What's up, you guys?
And today I have two very special guests. This is something we've been trying to get worked out, and we finally got it. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Ben Owens, also known as Taco. I'm with the Southern California Ceasefire Committee.
My name is Kevin Owens, also known as Twin, and I'm also with the California Ceasefire Committee.
So let's start off with you, Taco. If you want to give us a little history of your upbringing, your life, just a short bio, and what you do now.
Okay. I grew up in a small city called Gardena, which is south LA. Grew up in the same home with my brothers and sisters. I'm the middle child. But I'm the only one that decided to join a gang. I joined a gang and went through the classic rituals of going to jail and violence and everything that came along with it. Eventually went to county jail. I've been to juvenile halls, all of them, state prison, then federal prison. During the course of my journey, I also had gotten married, fathered 4 children, and just kind of made my way throughout the ranks of my neighborhood. And got to the point in my life after I did everything on the to-do list, decided that I wanted to do something different. Still love my neighborhood, whatever I could do to make my neighborhood better, my community better. I just kind of stuck around. I got out of federal prison about 20 years ago and got a old bar in my neighborhood, kind of cleared it out and made it a mentoring agency. So it's a nonprofit organization in Gardena. Aside from that, I do street gang intervention, deal with different neighborhoods, how we can resolve conflict and crisis and support victims, people who are victimized by gangs or gang violence, police brutality, whatever the issues might be in the neighborhood, predominantly in Gardena or South LA.
And how old are you?
Right now, I'm 54.
There you go, baby. Twin.
I came from a 2-family home, parent home, 4 brothers, 1 sister. Did the church thing, father worked hard, mother worked hard, but I found my way through the gang life when it just came out around I got interested probably around 70 from my older brother. Went to traditional schools in my community, ended up going to a juvenile camp at a young age, did observation, walking on, eventually hit the prisons. Also, he passed the test, like Taco said, he passed the test, but I've been shot before 8 times, so that's in the culture of our community that we grew up in. So I'm kind of educated in that as well, and found my way into want to give back to my community. A young man that went to prison, he was when he was 16, did 20-something years, come home, decided he wanted to get some guys together and and come together and bring a change to our community so that the youngsters wouldn't have to grow up like we did. So we got together with 7 other men and some women. And that was in 2007, I believe. We just wanted to start making our schools safe for the kids to go to school, and as well as changing their direction that, the gang didn't have to always be your only choice, to be accepted. So we got together and started an organization called Advocates of Peace and Urban Unity, where we would give back. And we just we started off wanting to help the gang members, but doing the work, we also said we wanted to help everybody because everyone's affected by it. If you're not in the gang, you're affected by it one way or another. So we just wanted to provide service for the whole community.
So are you guys the first generation of guys actually doing that in your neighborhood, or when you guys were growing up, was there guys trying to do the same thing you guys are doing?
I would say maybe the first generation that actually had lived experience. So, it's always been somebody in the neighborhood who represented some type of mentorship or like an uncle or father figure or whatever, but not specifically that had lived a life, had gone through all the gang rituals. So we might be somewhere in the neighborhood of that in terms of being ambassadors for gangs. But I think every community has always had somebody in the neighborhood that wanted to see young men and women do better, but not so much those who have been there, done that.
Well, I also think it was the wrong era. You guys couldn't really do this in the 80s and in the 90s.
Oh, no,
right? It would be a different world.
Right.
So we pretty much got here together after, I want to take your guys' your take on a lot of the racial stuff that's going on in Los Angeles. I'm sure you've seen it on both sides. And first, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts when you started seeing those videos coming up about, now it's the famous elote lady, the
Mhm.
raspado man, all these guys that were getting abused by young African Americans. What was your take when you first saw those videos?
It angered me because I know if me, I was looking at it another way, that somebody was harassing some black lady, I would be angered, but one of it was educational for one, for our community as well, for me and for some youngsters. So one of the young guys in it, that name, he didn't participate in, but his name was kind of the focal part of it. He reached out to me and like, man, how can I get to them where I can clear my name? And so he stepped up, and we made some stuff happen to where he was able to interact with the two men that was in the video, and they did what they had to do, and I think, I don't know, it might have been you that was kind of upset saying that, what are we doing? We stepping up. But as you know, we can't just put everything on social media, so certain things that occur with our people in y'all communities, y'all deal with it the way y'all can. We had to do it as well. So as a whole, the media don't see what we do, but we have to do it in a whole another entire way to make it unacceptable for them to do things, act like that. So not only was they was wrong for doing that, but they to another race, they shouldn't be doing that to nobody, period. So it was an educational part that happened, that took place, to where they looked at it like, damn, but you trying to get likes, but that was some dumb shit that could have got some shit started. And so it was just educational for them youngsters as well, for the whole community.